What's up guys, it's Kevin here, and my channel talks about building up your side hustle to the point where it replaces your main source of income. And then you can be your own boss and decide what you want to do with your own life. The journey is not easy obviously, and you can see how tough it is by following me on my YouTube journey in turning my YouTube side hustle into my real income source. So be sure to subscribe to follow how it goes. I promise you I will be 100% transparent. Now, is it right to hate your 9-to-5 job? Is it right to stay in your 9-to-5 job knowing you hate it? Well, the answer is, it depends. Is your 9-to-5 job providing for you financially and your family? Are you able to pay your rent or mortgage if you quit your job? If you can, how many months can you last? Do you have a backup plan before you quit your job? More importantly, can you survive if there was a zombie outbreak? There are tons of questions you need to go through yourself before you start thinking about quitting your 9-to-5 job. It is more complicated than you think, and even though you really want to tell that boss of yours how much you dislike him or her, my advice to you is be patient. Be patient and listen to me for the next 10 minutes before you decide if quitting your job is right. To do this, I am going to need some help. 1 second. Here we go, a book just magically appeared in my hands. This book is called The Rich Dad Poor Dad, written by Robert Kiyosaki, a financial advisor. You may or may not have heard about him, but if you have not, in a nutshell, he is someone who doesn't believe in 9-to-5 job. He is someone who believes in creating your own path. So anyways, if you have not read this book before, I highly suggest you have a read. It's the perfect book for anyone who hates reading, for anyone who is an employee, and of course, for anyone who is constantly thinking about quitting their job. You can buy this book in my Amazon affiliate link in my description below as a way to say thank you to me. You're welcome. Anyways, this book has lots of great concepts and it really opens up your mind about money, but you probably just want the juicy part, so here it is. There's one particular concept talked about in here, and Robert Kiyosaki calls it the ESBI. But before that, why is it that you need to understand a concept before thinking about quitting your job? And the answer is to lower your risks. Before you quit your job, you need to think about how this will impact you financially, because you don't want to be homeless and you don't want to be eating instant noodles every day. And of course, you don't want to get another job only to come back to the same position of hating your job again. You only have that many decades in your life, so don't keep wasting those years. Robert Kiyosaki divided the type of working people in the world into 4 types, and he calls it the ESBI. E stands for employee, S stands for self-employed, B stands for business, and I stands for investor. And that's really the only 4 ways you make money in your life. To know if you are ready to quit your job, you first need to understand which type you are in and which type you want to be in. But don't worry, I'm here to summarize it for you so you can make your decision in a couple of minutes. First, let's start with E for employee. An employee is a type of person where they're happy to sell 8 hours of their time every weekday in return for money. And majority of us fall into this category because we need people to pay their taxes. There are several benefits to being an employee. You have some sort of financial security, but it's not job security. You have a fixed salary, you have a fixed work hours, and it is comfortable. Basically, if you're someone who is happy with a predictable life, someone who can't get out of your comfort zone, then by all means, stay as an employee and be under someone else's control forever. There's no shame in that, you just need to live a minimal life and hope that your salary increases faster than the inflation rate. But notice one thing, you will always be bound to time, which means even if you want to earn extra money, you can't sell more time because you work fixed hours. So if you're ever in need of extra money, you may struggle a little in that area. And those overtime work you did is most likely going to be done for free and you won't be getting any overtime pay for that. If you're lucky, then you might get some time off as compensation. If you dislike your boss or job, then chances are you might be thinking of becoming your own boss, and that's when you fall into the self-employed category. One where you can set up a shop, maybe a cafe or something, and hire a couple of staffs to help you run the shop, and you can sit back, relax, and enjoy life. This is where you think you're running a business, but really, you just moved from being an employee to self-employed. So congratulations. An employee and self-employed shares pretty much the same similarities. You're still selling your time for money, only this time you get to sell more than just 8 hours a day. You can sell an entire week worth of your time. You don't have a boss, you become the boss, but at the same time, you live a life full of uncertainty, full of decisions to make every single day. You will not be hiring any staff yet because you have become a miser. You need those money for yourself, for your own survival. One way to tell if a person is running a business or self-employed is to see if that person is able to take themselves out of the business. Does the business still run if the owner goes on vacation, or do they have to close the business for a couple of days or weeks? Don't worry, I myself fall into this category, if that makes you feel any better. Having said that, being self-employed has its own benefits. The learning curve may be steep, but if you manage to grind through the initial phase and stabilize your work system, then all the hard work and effort and time you put in will pay off in the future. And that's when you are officially running a business, which leads me to my third category, business. To get into running a business is super hard. Most people who quit their job and started doing their own thing claims that they are running a business. But are they really? Are they? Let's put things into perspective. What exactly does running a business actually mean? I would normally count running your own business as having your own physical shop or office, hired some staffs, you are the boss, and you get to come into work whenever you like. That's partially true, although I have to say that's the traditional way of running a business. Nowadays, you can run a home business, you can flip houses and earn hundreds and thousands of dollars a year depending on how hardworking you are. And you can do all this by yourself. You don't need staffs to help you out at the start. You only need them when you want to start scaling up. The key to understanding the difference between self-employed and business is whether you are able to create a system that works for you and you are able to delegate part of your work so that your business can run on its own and start to scale up. Take for example, running a YouTube channel. Most content creators on YouTube starts off as being self-employed. They buy their own gears, they research their own niche, they record the video themselves, they do their own video editing, they do their own keyword research. Basically, they do everything, and at some point they will burn out and cause a drop in their content quality. But if they are able to systemize their process, then they can churn out videos after videos after videos and still maintain the quality. They can find someone to do the research, someone to write up the description, someone to do the filming, someone to do the editing, someone to do the thumbnail. All they need to do is perhaps be the person who is talking and maybe the person who prepares the script. If you can form a team who is able to work together with you because of your ability to guide them and get them to use your proven working system, then you are ready to run a business. The final category is investor, and of course, everyone wants to be in this one. There are many famous investors out there, and they are mostly investing in the real estate or stock markets. This is an area I'm sure everyone wants to get in. It is easy, you just throw some money in and earn some profits. In my opinion, everyone needs to have some form of investment because these days, you are literally not earning any saving interest from the bank. But to do investment isn't just about jumping right in and thinking everything will work fine. You actually need some experience and knowledge about the market and economy. Otherwise, you are just gambling and testing your luck. For me, I don't really know how to buy stocks. I do own some stocks, but they are mostly blue chips, which means they are pretty safe and I'm just earning dividend off of them. But to really earn the big money, you need to be able to identify the potential of smaller companies before they become big. Take for example, Amazon. Amazon's initial public offering was only $18 per share. If you invested $10,000 at that time, your $10,000 will worth more than $10 million today. That's a pretty good investment, right? But if I told you back then that Amazon, a website in 1997 that sells books only, is going to become a company that is worth more than $1 trillion in the future, if you invest just $10,000 today, you're going to be filthy rich. Would you have believed me? You would if you could see the future, but if I'm telling you right now that there's a small company that has the potential to become the next Amazon in 1 decade, would you invest right now? Chances are you would think twice before doing it because no one can predict what the market is going to look like in the future, not even me. The same goes for real estate. No one can predict what suburb is going to be redeveloped or becomes the next big city. The only time you can tell the future is either you're involved in the project or you have some kind of insider news. If not, then you better be sure you know how to read the market or you won't be an investor. You will just turn out to be a gambler. Now, if you really do decide to quit your job, my suggestion to you is before quitting your job, be in at least 2 categories first. You are in the employee category now for sure, so that's one. Most likely, everyone is going to pick investor as their second because that's the most lucrative one, but I see it as the laziest options. But hey, if you're good at predicting and understanding the market, then that's a good option for you. Just remember, being an investor, most of the time, you need quite a large capital, and more often than not, you need to be prepared to lose that capital. Investor category is the most uncertain one, and I wouldn't quit my job just to be an investor. So there you have it, 4 categories for you to decide on before you quit your 9-to-5 job. I feel it is important that you find out first because you do not want to quit your job just because you hate your boss. You need to first understand if you are meant to be an employee. Because chances are, maybe you aren't. Maybe you are meant to do something big and you deserve way more. The worst thing you could do to yourself is to quit your job thinking that the problem is your boss, but really, the problem has been you all along. Because you don't feel right working for people, because you feel like there's something bigger out there for you to accomplish, but you just couldn't put yourself to do it. Quitting the job you hate feels good, but if this is going to put you in a bad financial situation, then maybe you just need to suck it up and find a better way to manage this. Buy yourself some time first while you have a good think on what you really want to do. But if you still think that you belong in the employee category, then by all means go ahead and change your job and find a work environment where you can fit in where you belong. Because you and I know you deserve better than where you are right now. Okay, so that is it from me for now. Please like and subscribe if you haven't done so. I would really appreciate the support. I will see you again in the next one. Thank you for your time and take care. Bye.